Hi everyone, this is Adrian.
And I'm Carrie.
And for this episode of the Scent Library, we are going to talk about Sauvage Elixir and alternatives.
Yeah, and we say alternatives because the two other that we're going to talk about today, Jasada Ambassador Intense and Latafa Asad, they are definitely not clones, and we will explain why. However, they come out smelling amazingly similar, even if there's differences.
Yeah, and some of them have really a lot of notes, and some of them have less notes, but they still smell similar.
Yep. So let's talk about the Sauvage Elixir, and that came out by Dior and was an immediate hit. It came out in 2021, and it's known for its licorice note. Very, very interesting and intriguing note. And they back it up with other spicy sorts of smells and amber patchouli types of notes. The top notes are nutmeg, cinnamon, cardamom, and grapefruit, although I don't really smell a strong grapefruit fruity note. Do you?
Nope.
Nope. The middle note is lavender, and then base notes licorice, sandalwood, amber, patchouli, and vetiver. And one thing I always tell people with this one is a little goes a long way. It's a small bottle. It's expensive. You almost never get this on any kind of a real meaningful discount. I believe when this first came out, it was somewhere around $180 to $200 for a 60 ml bottle, and it still is.
Wow.
Yeah, they came out with a 100 ml bottle. It's priced accordingly. It's more expensive. You rarely ever find a discount on it. The nice thing is, though, it's pretty strong, and it's a great performer. It has a nice projection. It leaves a nice scent trail. Lasts for hours and hours and hours. You can even smell it on clothes days later. So, for people who spray a lot and, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. It's like the curly method. You really only have to go about maybe 4 on this. If you do much more than that, it's kind of like ebony fume. You
fumigate the room.
You may fumigate the room. You will definitely be the most overpowering scent person in the room or on the airplane. But it's a great fragrance. You can't go wrong with this. It has a sort of a mature vibe to it, but with a modern twist. So what I mean to say is people of all ages can wear this and stuff. If you were a fragrance person back in the 80s and still are, you'll love this. If you're 20-something and coming into your fragrance journey and stuff, this is a great one to add in there and add it to your repertoire from early on. I think this will be a classic that'll be around for a long time.
Yes.
Now, we talk about the other couple that we're going to talk about as alternatives, because the notes are really not the same.
No.
There's a handful of things that are the same, but there's a whole lot that's different. And we'll talk about some theories of why these smell so similar and yet have different notes after we talk about the individual ones. Let's move on to a kind of a new favorite of mine that I found recently. It's been out a while, but it's kind of new on my agenda, is the Ambassador Jasada Intense. And this one came out in 2022. And this one has a whole lot of notes.
Oh, yes. A ton of notes.
I want to say it has like 29 notes.
Yes.
So I'm not going to read all of them. I'm going to read the ones that I think are kind of the big ones. There's caramel, cardamom, cinnamon, elemi, geranium, ginger, incense, jasmine, lavender, licorice, nutmeg, patchouli, tonka, and vetiver. There's a lot more, and you can look them up if you want to, but I think those are the ones that if I sit and really think about it, those ones are the ones that I really notice. The others they're in there somewhere, but they don't come out really strong individually.
It's reminiscent of the 90s perfume,
Yeah.
where you have lots of notes, but it's actually current.
Yeah, it has lots of notes in it. They sort of blend well and support each other. I would say this one is a little bit more gourmand than the Sauvage Elixir. Definitely with that caramel smell in there and the licorice, nutmeg. It comes off feeling a little bit more, at least when you first spray it, it smells a little bit more gourmand. What were your feelings on wearing this one? You liked this one a lot, huh?
Oh yes, I like it. I actually like it more than Sauvage Elixir.
I would have to say I'm probably right there with you. So what were your favorite things about this one?
Well, it also has licorice,
Yeah.
and stuff, and caramel. And I think it's because it had so many notes, but it does it so well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I like it.
Yeah, it doesn't smell like just a big jumble. It smells well blended.
Yes.
And even though some of the things I can't really pick them out individually, they seem to support everything well together.
And it's more floral. You have like 5 floral notes in this.
Yeah. Yeah. So when I first smell it, comparing it on skin with Sauvage Elixir, basically 2 sprays of each of them, and give it maybe 5 minutes or so to calm down a little bit. There's a big difference. I noticed the florals, I noticed the gourmands a little bit more, and but they still smell similar.
Yeah.
Both of them, how would you say they do as like performing, projecting, and stuff?
Oh, about the same.
Yeah,
Just about the same.
They're monsters.
Yes.
They both really project. They perform well, last for over 12 hours. I would honestly say both of them, even like a light shower doesn't make them go away.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want this to go away, you need to like soap up pretty good and stuff, because just a quick wash off, like if I have it on my hands and stuff and I just rinse with water and stuff, I still smell it pretty strong.
So I would recommend this fragrance if you like the more floral profile.
Yep. Yeah, it's I do feel like the floral kind of dies down after maybe 4 hours or so, 2 to 4 hours, and then I'm left between the two, the Sauvage and this, smelling a lot more similar in the dry down than more similar than dissimilar, where at the beginning you can tell them apart pretty easily.
Yeah.
Okay, now going on to the next one, and this one is from a clone house, Latafa, but once again, I'm just going to put it out there, even though this is a great alternative for Sauvage Elixir, you really can't call it a clone by the notes that they publish.
No.
And what is your kind of overall take on this one?
I like this for the vanilla.
Yeah.
It does the vanilla scent very well.
Yeah. Nice dry down on that one. So this one has a lot fewer notes than the Gisada. This one only has about 11 notes, about the same as Sauvage, which is 10. This one came out in 2021, shortly after Sauvage Elixir. And this one has top notes of tobacco, pineapple, and black pepper. Middle notes, patchouli, coffee, and iris. And then base notes, as you said, vanilla, amber, dry woods, benzoin, and labdanum. So to kind of talk about this one where people say this is a clone of Sauvage Elixir,
No.
there's only 2 notes that are the same, patchouli and amber.
For every fragrance that we've talked about, it's only patchouli and amber that's the same.
The only notes between all 3 of these, patchouli and amber, those are the only ones that are the same. With the Ambassador, we'll go back and I'll talk about some of the notes that are the same between those 2. But yeah, in all 3 of these, the only ones that are the same are patchouli and amber.
Yes.
What's your take on this one of a fragrance just all on its own?
All on its own, I think it's not a clone.
Yeah.
It's I would even dare to think that it's an original scent.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I kind of have mixed opinions on that. I'm not sure what their intent would be, but I feel like it comes out in the dry down, like maybe after a couple hours. It smells amazingly similar to Dior Sauvage.
Oh.
I don't know that I would say it's a clone, but the impression when it's dried down, all three of these are amazingly similar. And I don't know that that's intentional or if it's just the kind of the profile that they were going for, a spicy, oriental, ambery type of fragrance and stuff, that it just kind of led into that category. Or maybe if they're being a little deceptive and the notes that they publish are not actually what's in there and it really is a more similar clone. I don't know why they would do that, but it's possible. But I think just all on its own, it's for not even just speaking of the price point, but all on its own, it's a really good fragrance.
Yes, all three are really good fragrances. Ambassador Intense would be my favorite amongst the three.
Yeah.
And it's not as expensive as Sauvage Elixir.
Right. In order of expensive, Sauvage Elixir is way at the top. Gisada is probably about a half to a third as much. And the Asad is in the category that I would just put as really affordable. It's not super cheap, but it's really affordable. It's probably, sometimes you can get it for $30 or so.
Wow.
Yeah. The Gisada is more like 90.
Wow.
And then, of course, we already talked about Dior. It's like 160 to 80 something.
Wow.
So there you go. There's three alternatives, or three choices that all lead up to very similar scent profile. Spicy, sexy, kind of gourmand, oriental. They last a long time. They're really a beast as far as their performance. They last
nighttime fragrances.
Yeah, these definitely I think are nighttime fragrances. I don't think of any of these as being what I would wear during the daytime.
No.
They definitely are kind of date night or some kind of fancy outing occasion. Well, just anything that's nighttime and stuff. But you know, they definitely go well with, like, you know, dress up and fancy occasion types of scents, if you don't overspray it and choke everybody. So, you know, any budget, this should fit anybody's budget. And honestly, both of our opinion is the same, that the Gisada Ambassador Intense, really, for the best smelling of them, it's the Gisada Ambassador Intense.
Yeah.
And you can save well over half of what the Sauvage is and get all the performance and maybe more sophistication.
Yes.
Okay, that's it.
Okay, till next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.